now live.
Of course.
All right. Well, good evening, everyone. It is, I don't know what the date is. What is it, 16th?
April 14th.
It is the 14th.
14th.
The day before tax day, although I think it's delayed this year.
Oh, God, you're depressing. That was depressing.
Thank you.
Why is it depressing?
I didn't realize that. I was
Clearly Regina owes, so it's easy to forget when you owe.
Of course.
No. She's getting so much money back. She's so chill, so she's not worried about it.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Oh. Well, welcome everyone to the greatest show on the web, powered by the NeilSoulCypher.com. I got it right. What is
making it happen, man?
What is going on this evening?
See what is going on. Like I said, I got it. I feel like I have a reprieve because I haven't finished the tax situation. So now, I think we have at least another month, so that we can get our stuff together. So I'm happy about that. Other than that, just moving forward through April 2021, and just glad to see that folks are getting vaccinated across the country. And so that's a plus. Glad to see that's happening. It looks like we have to pause Johnson & Johnson a little bit, but we'll see how that plays out.
Well, I am very honest on the show, and today is no different. As you know, it is the Muslim holy month. Muslims are fasting. So the sun went down, and I got a little delayed. So,
oh my God,
this is going to be happening today.
Chicken tender? Oh my
Look.
God.
Usually I will hide these things, but
thank God it wasn't a hot dog.
You're gonna have to deal.
Oh, Lord.
It's all good, man. It's all good.
I'm eating some chicken today, okay?
Yep. I haven't eaten dinner yet either, so I'm gonna be
well, see, I didn't eat today or drink.
Yeah. So that's true. That's right. So you got to make it happen. We don't want you to faint, man. So
there you go. Nobody wants that.
We're not trying to have you faint up in here.
So I'm gonna be popping chicken every once in a while. I do apologize, and I hope it's not distracting.
No,
it's all good,
the
man.
water isn't either.
Okay, good.
So how many more days to Ramadan now?
Just started.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're gonna have to deal with this for 4 weeks.
Yes, indeed. It's all good, man.
So anything going on news-wise?
Wow. Let's see. I know that we're looking to try to get the whole stimulus, the new big stimulus plan through Congress, and I think it's looking pretty good. So I'm excited about that. Getting those stimulus checks out, but also getting the infrastructure piece in place. So that's a good thing.
Okay.
Other than that, from a music standpoint, I haven't heard much. Obviously, we had the tremendous loss of DMX, and I know we haven't had a show since that time. So I really do want to make sure that we take the time to really give a big shout out to DMX, who meant so much to the culture, meant so much to hip hop and rap in particular, in terms of the energy that he brought, the innovation that he brought, and the style that he brought. And, for a period of time from writing, it was probably 97 to 2003. I don't know if there was anybody hotter. I really don't.
I'm a big DMX fan.
Yeah.
Big DMX fan. For me, it's Biggie and then it's DMX. I was gonna start the show cursing y'all out like DMX, but I didn't know if y'all would get the joke, so I didn't do it.
I'd be offended, probably.
Yeah, that's why
I'm very sensitive.
Yeah.
But I do want to take a second to shout out. Wait, I know the name. Horn. Horn was the last name. So it was Cariel Horn. She was a police officer in Buffalo, New York.
Yes.
In 2006, she lost her job because a fellow officer was choking a black man, and she stepped in and stopped him He punched her in the face and she lost her job. So fast forward to today, the Buffalo Supreme Court has reversed that decision. She's getting all of her back pay, she's getting her pension, she's getting her benefits. So she saved the man's life. So shout out to her. She's a hero.
No, absolutely. She is a true hero, and I give her so much credit because she became a bit of a a pariah in the police department simply because she wanted to do the right thing. And so it's just funny how times turn around and thankfully finally the right thing is being done. And so let's definitely give her a major shout out.
That's part of the things that I don't understand. Like you can have one like you say you have one bad apple, but how can you stand by and not step up? It's beyond me. That
absolutely.
Punk, to me, it's just equal to the person doing it.
And after that, the guy actually in question got a promotion. But then he subsequently had to leave the force because he engaged in other behavior that that was out of the bounds of police work. And so if they had taken care of the man earlier, like you should have, you wouldn't have had these additional issues, which is, I think, a theme that you will probably find in a lot of these particular cases, that if you discipline people properly and they're held accountable, you will have a lot less of these issues coming up, because most of these officers that are engaging in this conduct have done it before. They've done it.
It's a club, though. It's sort of like that brotherhood thing where people don't want to.
It is. And if you think about it, if your brother's dating a woman and he treats her bad, you feel bad, but you're not necessarily going to step in. So that's that weird thought process that they have.
Right. So it takes special people.
Yeah.
Sometimes it takes a special, because most of us are sheep. So it's going to take a person who's not one.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And speaking of social justice, that's one of the reasons why I love my friend Scotty so much, because he will step up for social justice in a minute. And oftentimes I just read it. I'm like, go. I'll never comment. I never do. But I am always so very proud.
Why don't you comment?
I don't know. There are several things. There's several. I don't know. There's several reasons. I'm not as confident as. I don't know.
Sounds a little sheepy that you're not.
No, that's not the issue. No, the issue is me being able to control my dark side. So I just step back and just. Okay. I don't like the monster.
Okay. So,
my friend.
Ray, tell us about our guest this evening.
Yeah, I'm going to let Regina do that, because she is a someone who knows Jah Works extremely well. So I'm going to pass the baton and let Regina, take care of that for us today.
Okay. So I heard them the first time, I don't know, 105 years ago. I think I was trying to think. I was talking with Kevin. I was trying to think of exactly where it was. It was somewhere in Annapolis, and I know it had like an Irish last name, something. I don't know. But then I just immediately fell in love with the band. But since then, they come to Ocean City. And Scotty, I call him a brother. He's my big brother. And so Kevin, I love you too. And his wife, whole family. I just love all the guys, every one of them. So and locally, they're like the biggest reggae band on the scene locally. They have a big following, huge following, and they deserve it. And that's why I wanted them on. Their music is fabulous, and they're great.
Excellent. Well, we're going to bring in Jah Works right now and have them bless us with their presence and their music. So
and we're going to let Regina dominate this interview, because she's the reggae person. And for all of you watching, when you see Scotty and Kevin, particularly Scotty, it's not the ZZ Top we have on tonight. So what's going on, guys?
ZZ Top. Ladies, gentlemen, good to see everyone.
Great to have you on.
Thank you so much for having us on. We're happy to be here with y'all.
Of course, you guys are legends.
Regina's built us up to be.
No, you are.
Absolutely, you are. Absolutely.
So tell us a little bit about the origin story. We love to hear the origin stories of all of our superheroes, and we love to hear origin stories of all our guests as well. So we'd love to hear what sparked the original idea for Jah Works.
There was a bright flash across the sky, and then there was a loud bang. And it was me landing at Loyola College in Baltimore, Maryland. And Kevin landed with a similar bang on the other side of campus. And this is in 1989. And somewhere in the fall of that first semester, I think Kevin and I met somewhere on campus, might have been at his side of campus in those dorms in Charleston resident halls. And we started listening to music. And the thing that Kevin and I had in common at the time was we were both into like Bad Brains, this really wicked hardcore punk band from DC. And so Kevin was coming from Connecticut, and he was into like heavy rock, like hardcore metal. I was a punk rocker from high school, but I was into a lot of reggae. So Bad Brains, I think it's funny we're asking this question now because I was listening to a lot of Bad Brains the last 2 weeks, and especially the album Eye Against Eye. Yeah. And I think honestly that might have been what brought us together. We met by chance, but it was the music that kept us hanging out. How do you remember it, Kevin?
Well, yeah, actually, the bass player in our band, Mike, was randomly roomed with me freshman year. So he could be the third person on here if he didn't have to deal with his kids tonight. And then Rob Huey knew you from high school.
Yeah.
So that's how we met you, Scott, was through Rob.
Right, through Rob, yeah.
He connected us together. You were on the other side of campus, and Mike was randomly roomed with us. And then we did connect on that because Mike was into punk music, and you played in a punk music band,
right?
Infection in high school, and I was into like heavy metal type stuff. So we connected on like hard rock music. But you were way into reggae too because you're the youngest of 5 brothers, and they all were. One of your older brothers saw Bob Marley in concert and so forth. So he brought those albums, the actual albums, home and played them for you to it. And Bad Brains was the crossover between hard rock and reggae and Rasta like kind of influence and stuff. So I think that kind of brought us together there. And then of course we spent our 3rd year, you, me, and Mike in Europe, and that really kind of solidified our connection as friends. And as musical partners, we brought acoustic guitars with us over there, and we would play. We do what's called busking in the streets. When we were traveling around, we had Eurail passes, so we travel around Europe, and we weren't in class, which was pretty often.
Somehow we missed class. I don't know how.
Yeah, with the guitar case open, playing songs, and Scott's got a wide variety of influences. That's when we discovered Scott could really sing good. And he was the singer from Jump, and so we would just play with him. But wide variety of influences. So we weren't just listening to reggae over there. We were listening to Bob Dylan and Santana and Crosby, Stills, and like
Lenny Kravitz.
Lenny Kravitz, yeah.
Nirvana's. Nevermind came out that year. The Red Hot Chili Peppers put out Blood Sugar Sex Magic. We were literally playing covers of everything, over in Belgium. Right. And it's when we got back to Baltimore to go senior year at Loyola that we actually thought of the name Jah Works because we listened to this group called the Gladiators. They're one of the classic reggae vocal harmony groups. And they had so many great songs, but one of their songs was called Jah Works. And we loved the lyrics so much and we listened to them so much that we said, man, that would be a great name for a band. And we just started playing reggae more and more on our acoustics. So by the time we finished graduating senior year in 1993, we pretty much had a band. It was just 2 guitar players, Mike on bass, and some college guy, friend of ours, on drums. And that was always our Achilles heel. We had to get a new drummer like every 3 years because the drummers weren't. We didn't have a drummer friend. We had a bass player friend, and we played guitar, and I was singing. And it started in college, and it just began as a thing that we did after that summer after we graduated. And then I left Baltimore for a while to go live with my brother in Hawaii. And then they started sending these cassette tapes of their rehearsals. and they had recruited a couple new guys to the band. One guy, Nazi Rock, he plays sax and sings with us, and this other guy, Tony Love, he used to sing and play guitar with us. And when I heard these rehearsal tapes on cassette sent to me in the mail in an envelope, I told my brother, like, I gotta go back to Baltimore, man. I mean, so in May of '94, I flew back home, and we were in the studio like that fall making our first record, Feast or Famine. Nice. And energy was high, but you know, we all had jobs, and everybody was paying their bills with one job or another. And I think one by one, by like 1995, we had all kind of left the day job world, and we started getting enough shows to make just enough money to survive and subsist on the music. And then, you know, year after year, we made more money and we got busier and we took on more shows till probably the height of it, the early 2000s, we were probably playing 180, 200 shows a year.
My
going
God.
up the East Coast, going as far as like Ohio, Chicago. And then we did a couple of USO tours where we played for the Armed Forces Entertainment Network. And that took us to play for military servicemen and women around the world, like up in Greenland. And then, man, we went to Holland and played the Cannabis Cup and went all through the South Pacific and Asia and played in Japan and Korea. And then we went to Jamaica and played shows for spring break down there. So it really snowballed. And next thing you know, like 11 albums later, we're here talking with you guys tonight.
And the whole time, that guy kept the name Nazi Rock?
Nazi Rock. Yeah, he goes by Rock now, mainly.
That is fantastic.
Yeah, man. The nicknames, you know, they stick throughout the years, Q.
Yeah.
They don't shed.
Wow.
That is cool. That is cool. Yeah.
I'm sorry, I didn't know he was referred to as Nazi Rock. That's funny.
Yeah, man, that was his nom de guerre, you know.
No, he is not. Because I used to think he is Jamaican. Rock is not Jamaican, is he?
No,
or is he American?
Born in America, born in Dundalk in Baltimore.
Nazi Rock. That's funny. That's what I'm gonna call him next time I see him too. That's funny.
So, were you guys nervous the first time you performed reggae in front of a crowd? What was that like?
You have no idea. It was scary.
Jamaican crowd, yeah.
All Jamaican crowds, Q. We were terrified. And me as the singer, I'd be like really scared.
But
yeah, it was nerve-wracking.
How was that those first couple of times? Like, how did it go once you started? How did the fans accept you?
Tell them the story about Silver Shadows, Red.
We played this as we started to get a little bit of notoriety in the Baltimore area. We wound up playing this place in Columbia called Silver Shadows, which was a venue, and the folks who brought us in were they were running these nights that were like they were reggae nights. They had DJs and reggae bands, and the clientele was mostly West Indian that would come to there, and so we came to there to play a couple of times, and the first couple of times we went to play there, you know, Jamaicans, we played up in New York at like SOB, and you know, it's mostly you know, West Indian crowds up there, and you know, they're not super quick to, you know, say, hey, you did great.
But you're singing your heart out on stage, and people don't move a twitch.
Wow.
Don't move a twitch to just catch you.
Oh, man.
Silver Shadows. We played Silver Shadows, and we would run. We were playing at the time mostly kind of cover songs. We played some Bob Marley songs, and we probably had a few originals in there and so forth. But the big singer at the time in this kind of like mid '90s, late '90s was Garnet Silk, and Scott would sing the Garnet Silk song. You know, the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. And he would start singing that, and when he hit it, you know, Scott's he's a crooner, man. He sings with a lot of soul and a lot of passion. And when he would start singing that, and he hit that note, and people started hearing it, and they knew it was the hit song at the time. It was a big song. You know,
Splashing Dashing.
Ignited that fire with the West Indian crowd. Then they would coming up to the stage of,
I love it. I love it.
At first, we were like, do they like it, or are they mad, or that means they like it. That means they want you to rewind it and come again.
The Heineken bottles banging on the speakers and
I love it. I love
cabinet
it.
speakers and the Guinness bottles, man. And they would say, like, pull up, rewind, pull up, and they would make us stop.
Rewind.
We had to sing it like 8 times.
Oh, that's fantastic.
That's a great story. That's
when I knew we were making some inroads in the West Indian community.
That's great.
Fantastic.
Which, you know, that's the ultimate validation. If you're going to be a reggae band, if the Jamaican crowd doesn't accept you, then you should just pack it in, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like going to Nashville and all the country fans don't want to give you a gig. Like you might as well quit.
Yeah.
Mhm.
No, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So now you guys have whet our appetite. So we want to hear a little bit of what you guys do. So if you don't mind, we're gonna hit you guys with "So Lovely," also known as "Right by My Side." Here we go.
I love that song.
Right by my side, oh girl, you are my joy and pride, baby. Right by my side, oh girl, you are my joy and pride. So lovely, that's how I feel when I'm with you. So amazing. That's how I know this love is true. Oh, baby, it's been a long, long while since we had some time together. Made so many memories, even better stormy weather. Right now you got me floating light just like a feather. It's now or never, now or never. So lovely and wonderful. That's the way I feel when I'm with you. Don't you ever leave my side. Right next to me, that's where I need you. That's where I need you. Right by my side. Oh Lord. When my friends come around and check for me, ask me what I'm doing, I tell them that I'm busy making preparation just for your arrival. Having your love in my life is key to my survival. So lovely and wonderful. That's the way I feel when I'm with you. Don't you ever leave my side. Right next to me, that's where I need you. That's where I need you. Right by my side. Oh Lord. Right by my side, oh girl, you are my joy and pride, baby. Right by my side, oh girl, you are my joy and pride. Right by my side, oh girl, you are my joy and pride, baby. Right by my side, right by my side, so lovely. That's how I feel when I'm with you. Oh, baby, oh. So amazing. That's how I know this love is true. When my friends come around and check for me, ask me what I'm doing, I tell them that I'm busy. Busy making preparation just for your arrival. Having your love in my life is key to my survival. So lonely and wonderful. That's the way I feel when I'm with you. Don't you ever leave my side. Right next to me, that's where I need you. So lovely and wonderful. That's the way I feel when I'm with you. Don't you ever leave my side. Never, never leave my side.
It sounded like someone was opening up candy wrappers, but I think it might have been.
I thought it was potato chips.
Yeah, maybe it was the bass or something in the hardware. I don't know. It was crackling a little bit.
I know. I was like, who's eating potato chips?
Interesting.
I'm
I muted
texting
myself
people.
on purpose so that I could
Yeah,
be
me too.
from the suspect pool.
Well, at least I wasn't accused of singing and messing up the song this time.
The song is fantastic, though.
Thank you.
It really is.
It's such a rich song. I love the writing. I love the harmonies that you have in there, and then all the instrumentation. It's a well done song. Really is.
Thank you so much.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
It went from being on like a 2-chord, very simple 2-chord rhythm from an African producer that I worked with named what was my man's name? He used to play with Monsoon, Kevin. Emmanuel was his name, I think. He was the guy from Liberia. But long story short, he wrote it on a 2-chord rhythm, a major to a minor, and I loved it on that. And I recorded the demo with him years before. But then our bass player Mike wrote a completely new piece of music with all those changes and all the climbs and the roller coaster going back and forth from the verse to the chorus to the preamble, and it just elevated the whole song so much higher.
Yeah, it's a rich song, no doubt.
Yeah, Mike wrote all that music, the bass player.
Yeah, man.
Okay. Now the lyrics, any inspiration for that, or?
I was alone in the wilderness, living a solitary life, like Neil Diamond, a solitary man. And I was waiting to find my lady, and I dated all the rest, and I was kind of jaded and just over it. So I was single for a good while, and I just kept waiting, and I started kind of visualizing what it was going to feel like when I did meet her. So this song was kind of like trying to project myself into a future relationship.
Did it work, Scotty?
Yeah, I'm very happily in love right now, looking for a house with my lady. So
excellent.
Good
blessed.
Who's Jamaican?
Blessed,
Who's Jamaican, of course, right?
Yeah, and she is Jamaican born, moved up here when she was 13. So
beautiful.
Nice.
You better keep her. We'll show her a picture.
Circle.
She's beautiful. They'll fall in love with her.
She's right off camera, probably really mad that I'm talking about her. Jamaicans are very private. They're like, "Man, you talk too much, man. You share too much." He's in the kitchen or in the living room cracking up right now. Like, when they suck their teeth, they're like, and I'll be trying to suck my teeth, and she's like, "Quit trying. You can't do it.
Quit trying, Mom." Yeah.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
absolutely
we
gorgeous.
Do want to touch on how you met Regina. Now, I'm gonna guess that you saw her outside of a venue. You took her on. You saw some potential somewhere. How did it work? How did it happen?
You being nice, Quash? Okay, I was waiting for something bad. I'm like,
no.
Okay.
Well, I didn't know Regina sang, I think, until sometime down in Ocean City over the summers. But like she said, I think we first met her. She was at one of our shows. And I mean, I'll be completely honest. When I was a younger lead singer of this band, and that was my full-time job, we met so many people at the time that like I didn't even focus on all the people that we met. You know, it was like it was busy, busy, busy. And then I left the band for 7 years, or left the area for 7 years, left the band for 5. And when I came back and started singing with the band again in 2012, I was an older person. I'd been through a lot, you know, personally in life. And I'd lost my father a couple of years before that. And you know what I realized when I came back and started working with Jah Works again? I was like, man, you know, this music is nothing without the relationships that form the music, form the band. And so therefore, by extension, when I came back and when we started working together again, I mean, it became more important to me personally to have relationships with people that came to the show. And I used to see so many familiar faces for so many years that it became more important to me as I got older to like get to know some of these people who came and saw us on a regular basis, to have conversations. And then when I found out Regina sang, I was like, well, you got to get up and sing with us. And, you know, summers and summers passed. And now, you know, it's like whenever she and her husband are at a show, it's like it's given. You got to get up and sing. And, you know, that's just how it is. Oh, man. I look at her laughing.
There will be a conversation when you guys are gone.
Yes. Yes, there will be.
Yes.
So,
but you know what? I'm sorry. Go ahead, Q. Go ahead.
no, I was going to ask my question about, in terms of the pandemic, what has it done to you guys' creative processes?
I think Kevin and I would both say I think we were stalled at times and then like intensely motivated other times. Recently, we've gotten 5 songs recorded in the last couple of weeks. We went in the studio 3 weeks ago and recorded 5 songs between noon and midnight.
Wow.
They're all brand new songs. And so that's amazing because there were months on end, I think, for me personally, where I felt like I wasn't writing anything.
Yeah.
I was just in a holding pattern, you know, and we were working on music when the pandemic hit, and then everything just stopped. The studio sessions, we didn't book anymore. And the shows were done and there was just no energy, you know, and then we did a few live streams from a couple production facilities out this way in Frederick, Maryland, and had a great experience with these guys from Showtime Sound in Frederick. And they did all the big festivals around here for years. So they started doing some live streams and we actually did a live stream with them and the comedian, Ron White. And that guy is total nut. Like he's hilarious.
Yeah, he is.
And they interviewed us. And so that kind of gave us a little spark. And then we did a drive-in theater show in Frederick, Maryland with the same company, Showtime Sound, where people literally just rolled their cars in to the Frederick County Fairgrounds. And we played on a stage with big cameras and huge projection screens, digital plasma screens like 20 by 30 feet. And people drove in and were able to hang out around their cars or sit on the roof of their trucks and dance and sing and rock out to us outdoors.
Nice.
And then last week we finally played 2 indoor shows in one night at the Record Theater in Towson, Maryland. It's a Baltimore venue, but it's right outside the city. And they're opened up again, newly reopened. So we were the 7th show that they've had since March when they opened up. And they only sold 80 tickets for the first show. So it sold out in under an hour. Right. And they added a second show. So there we were going from no shows to playing 2 shows in one night last Friday for 80 people each time. And it felt amazing. It felt subversive when you saw people actually like standing up and dancing. I was like, don't get us in trouble. Sit down. On the other hand, I felt like, yeah, if everyone dances, they can't stop it. So it felt like we were in Footloose, like with Kevin Bacon, like turn that music down. The pandemic's been a huge killer for us. I mean, financially, we lost, I don't know how many thousands of dollars last year, just from May to October, between secrets, the wine festivals, tens of thousands of dollars, you know, like it was a crusher. It was a crusher.
I don't know any other industry that's been affected more than music and entertainment and, you know, theaters and people that put on shows and promote shows. I mean, and there hasn't really been much relief for this this subset of our population. You know, it's really just been, you know, lots of times musicians are under the table players and stuff like that. It's hard to get, collect benefits and different things.
Yeah.
It's been brutal, and this will be the last industry, I think, to recover.
Yeah.
These types of and stuff. So it's been rough. I mean, we were talking a little bit about this coming summer. We've got more things on the calendar than we had last summer. Whether they'll actually happen, we don't really know until we get there. I mean, it's kind of like we've got a few things like placed on the calendar, and we're kind of all waiting with bated breath to see what's going to happen and what's not going to happen at this point. So, hopefully things keep moving in the right direction and people get their vaccinations and, and we can find ways like the Record Theater to have shows in the current climate of things and keep things going. But it's been rough,
Yeah.
No, absolutely. It's really been a shock to the whole industry. And but I think it's led to some level of innovation, and so I think there's going to be some positive things that may come out of from an innovation standpoint. But just what you guys had to deal with from a financial standpoint and not being able to be around fans, I know that's got to be really difficult.
Just the lack of vibes, like that. Yeah. What I really pray that comes out of it is like a renaissance of appreciation for live entertainment. Now, how many of us have been involved in this music thing for 30 plus years? And I'll be honest with you, it's easy to complain about a lackadaisical, apathetic crowd, but there have been many nights over the years where they might not have known it, but inside I was the same way. I was lackadaisical, apathetic. So now I don't just pray for an audience that's rejuvenated with appreciation, but I feel like I've been rejuvenated with an appreciation for performing and for revaluing and reevaluating the value of your audience. And I think there's a magic ahead if the numbers keep going down, the COVID numbers, and if the immunity builds up between the people who've been infected and who did get sick, the people that were exposed and never got sick, and the people that are getting vaccinated. I think there's more people that are getting an immunity to it that I just pray that, this summer secrets can be open enough just to kind of like turn the spigot on of people that are allowed through the door. And then when some leave, they turn the spigot on again. Right. Like a place like Secrets, I don't know if you guys have ever heard of it, but it's such a big operation that I can't imagine them not being open this summer because they have to. Right. I know they've been getting PPP from the government, I'm sure. They employ half of the Eastern Shore in Ocean City. So, I mean, they must be getting some help to stay alive. But on the other hand, with the growing immunity, and if you're keeping it physically distant, like the Towson show at Record Theater last week, they only sold 80 tickets. If you limit the amount of people that are in an environment, you can do this. And I wanted Jah Works to be a part of that early renaissance that's happening here in April and May. And when Kevin told us that the record contacted us about playing, I was like, we got to do this. Like we have to be a part of the early rush of shows. We got to be out. Great.
That's great.
So
that's
how was the vibe for you, though, being that there were so fewer people?
It took a couple songs to adjust. It took a couple songs to adjust for me. But after that, it felt like any other show would feel to me personally. I was hyped. I was moving around, and my feet and my knees were sore on Saturday morning. So I knew that I had stomped on that stage enough with my feet and my shoes. I knew I was giving it up. And especially the second set, I tried to pace it for the first show. And then they cleared the audience out and they cleaned up and they brought the second audience in. And we played a little longer, obviously, the second show, more like a 90-minute set. And it felt like natural. It felt so good. I don't know about you. How'd you feel, Kevin?
Yeah, same way. It felt pretty much more or less great. It's
more or less
free to play,
And when you hear yourself on a big house sound system the way they have at the Wrecker, you can't help but enjoy the show.
No, that's cool. That's cool.
So, should we give a shout out to all the you guys want to give a shout out to your band members?
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course. Yeah, we got
Rock.
We're
gonna have a photo up.
We got Rock. We got Basie. Yeah, can't forget Nazi Rock. We got Basie, Mike Hamilton on bass. Brian Gorman, Kevin's younger brother. Brian is our keyboard player and also does some killer harmony vocals. And then we have John Pang on drums. He's from Northern Virginia. We met him. Now he lives up in Jersey with his wife and family. And we got some horn players that play with rock, a guy named Nick Ryder on the trumpet who writes a lot of our horn charts, and our trombone player and sometimes vocalist, Patrick Forte Harrison, graduate of Morgan State music department, killer trombone player.
Nice.
And we do have Uncle Chuck as well, who plays guitar with us. He started coming around with Jah Works when Kevin was taking some time away from the band with family or career things. And then Uncle Chuck started playing guitar with us. And now we like to bring the guitar world and have Kevin and Chuck together. Like whenever you see a big touring reggae band, they always have 2 guitars. They always have 2 keyboards. They got 3 horns. They got 3 backup singers. So as we started to get this last album, Believe, together, we really all agreed that we wanted to try and provide the biggest show possible within reason to be able to pay for it. And so we usually have anywhere from 8 or 9 or 10 people on stage, and it just gives you this this freight train feeling, when it's all up and it's really running at top capacity. It's like you can't help but feel it.
Yeah. Well, with that in mind, I want to see if we can hear a little bit of that in our next song that we're going to play from you guys. Greener Pastures.
And mute yourself, Regina. Not that it's you, but maybe we'll all mute except Ray.
Tell me what you want, and I tell you what I want. Tell me what you want, and I tell you what I want. Probably the money so I can go shopping. Put a bag of goods inside my refrigerator. Stir up a pot for my brethren. Make some music, take it on the beat stage. So, the Lord is thy shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in greener pastures. The Lord is thy shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in greener pastures. Make a little money, gotta pay the bills. Struggling some, so we're making a deal. Each and every day I wanna do God's will. Night time comes, said I wanna go out and sing my song, yeah. Writing on a tune and record it still. Wake up in the morning and I put my feet down on the floor, yeah. This kind of music is essential to me. Play it for my people and all the family. So, the Lord is thy shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in greener pastures. The Lord is thy shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in greener pastures. Go to work. I gotta go to work. Got to go to work. Gotta go home. So got to go to work. Man, I gotta go to school too. I got to do my best. I gotta get in bed soon. Gotta get some rest. Nothing but a lot of things to. Another day ahead. 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 So, Lord is thy shepherd, I shall not want. Making me to lie down in greener pastures. The Lord is thy shepherd, I shall not want. Making me to lie down in greener pastures.
All right. Well, I like that one.
I love that song. Oh man, yeah.
I
So
was like, I was watching Quash. You were smiling and grooving. That's why I was smiling. That's why I was laughing.
yeah.
I was like, oh, look at him all happy.
So, one of the things I always love about reggae music is kind of the spiritual component of it, and so tell me a little bit about how you guys have kind of plugged into the spirit and the spiritual nature of kind of good rhythm reggae.
Unmute,
Scotty.
You want to answer that one, Kev? I don't want to be railroading you all night long.
Well, I mean, you sing a lot of the lyrics and you write a lot of your own lyrics, so that's I think that's a component of it. But you're right. Reggae is a spiritual music, and I think next to gospel, which is truly a spiritual music. Reggae is about obviously truths and rights and good vibes and good energy, but it's also it's about a belief in God and a higher power, and exalting that power. So I think it's just it fits in with the energy of the music. I think the music is kind of hits you there when you catch the reggae. There was a song, the Reggae Fever, right, Scotty? That's like when it catches you, it's like it hits you in your spirit, and you kind of feel it. So when the music and the lyrics kind of match up together, I think that's a powerful combination. And Greener Pastures is that's kind of a those are actually kind of a biblical
yeah.
From Psalms, yeah.
Yeah, and we've written some songs like that, Moses, and Greener Pastures, and there's other songs we've written.
Oh, I like that one too.
Yeah,
King of Kings.
The King of Kings, exactly, and just have that sort of pay homage to that aspect of the music,
You know what else too? Like we all grew up. Loyola was a Catholic college, so most of us were Catholics. So I mean, when you go to Catholic school in grade school and high school, you're taking religion and theology and Bible, and we learn all the books in the Bible. So then you get to college and you travel and you meet people from other faiths. And then when we go so deep into Jamaican culture and Rasta music, because we weren't playing like, the Girl I Want to Make You Sweat reggae. We were playing Trenchtown rock and Concrete Jungle and, Burning Spear songs like with titles like Marcus Garvey, Words Come to Pass. And we were really into like the authentic Jamaican roots music. So even the Rasta worldview became something that we identified with because we were about liberation, and we didn't even know it in 1993 we didn't know what white appropriation was, but we were very conscious that it wasn't our music. We were very adept and intent on making it clear to our audiences that we're not up here trying to parrot something. We are trying to pay tribute to this tradition. So I think at this age now, I just turned 50. I think he's younger than me still, but yeah, he's catching up. But I feel like at this age, you realize, if you're a person of faith, if you're a believer, then through your walks and trods in life, and whether it's the creativity or the music that gives you that, but I think it's everything, you realize that there's common truths that are true no matter who you are, what your color is, what your nationality says, your passport says, what church you bend your knee at. There are common realities in this life and on this planet. And as you get dialed into that, you worry less and less about, well, does this belong? When people accept it, it belongs. And if it doesn't get accepted, then it doesn't belong there.
Right.
And there's different audiences. I mean, Jamaica, they don't even listen to this kind of reggae as much in Jamaica now. Dancehall runs Jamaica, so that's almost more of a trap mentality in Jamaica now, as far as music is concerned. The lyrics and even the music itself, it sounds more like R&B and American hip hop. But the real roots Jamaican audience and the real roots American and European, for that matter, and African reggae audience they're always going to love that traditional roots reggae, and that's
Yeah.
always been what we've been rooted in as Jah Works. So
Yeah.
we did our foray into the dance hall. We did our foray into learning the Pharrell rhythms and dropping original lyrics over hip hop beats. We did it all in 30 years, and we love it all. But I think as we get older, we love the roots more than ever.
Nice.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's no better gratification than to see some Jamaicans or some people from Barbados or you know, St. Kitts come up to us after a show and be like, man, I never would have believed it if me didn't see it with my own eyes, you know. And I mean, it's just like you can't get your head through the door. You're like, yes, Jah Works is legit, you know.
I love it.
Because now you can't swing a dead cat without hitting a white reggae band. I mean, they're everywhere.
Yeah.
But back in 1993, people were looking at us like, I've never seen white people try to do this. And
I
didn't
really
know any better. If someone told us what it would have been like, I think most of us would have been like, "Oh, forget that, man. That's going to be too much resistance."
No, it's
But I think I like that you said you weren't trying to parrot it. You're supporting it. You're honoring it. That makes a difference.
To make a joke out of it.
That makes a big difference, and you can see it on you can see it on stage whether or not people are doing it just because they, you can tell whether or not they believe in what they're doing.
Sure.
And and knowing you personally, I know you guys do.
My brother Chris is a teacher in Florida, and he said something the other day. He said, "The feel is real. So what you feel is real. You can't fake the feel."
Right.
And I think that's what people get when they come to the show.
Yeah.
They can't believe their eyes sometimes. And white people are the same way. White people, people are people. So people are shocked when they see something out of the ordinary.
Right.
Remember when Fuzzy Zeller tried to talk bad to Tiger when he was at the Masters, and Tiger won.
That.
It's like people don't know what to say. They don't know what to think. And sometimes they say the wrong thing because they just don't know what else to say.
Yeah. Well, it just shows you
they're wicked and they're bad.
I'm glad you mentioned that because unfortunately we are in this country in particular, we're so awkward around concepts because we put everyone in a lane in terms of how they're supposed to be and how they're supposed to act based on their race, based on their background. And when we see something out of the ordinary, it just shocks us, and we don't know how to deal with it. And so having the opportunity to kind of stretch our boundaries a bit is, I think, an incredibly healthy thing. And I appreciate the fact that you guys are doing that from an authentic standpoint, because you're right. There's some folks that are out there from all, walks, unfortunately, that are just, clowning and appropriating as opposed to honoring and being authentic. And so we appreciate what you guys are doing.
Right.
It's an incredible sound. It's a rich sound. And we're looking forward to hearing more of it and having you guys on again. And please just let us know what you're doing. We want to help promote what you're doing because it is some good stuff, some real good stuff.
Appreciate you all. Great deal. Thank you.
Absolutely. Now, how can folks hear a little bit more from Jah Works? Obviously, you got your shows that are coming up, but how can they find you on the wonderful social media landscape?
Well, you just go to www.jahworks.com, JAHWORKS. I put it in the chat.
Okay.
And go on YouTube, all the social media, Jah Works Baltimore. And you can follow us there. We got our dates up on the web, and little by little we come back to life. I hope to see everyone coming out, because music's going to need support.
All right. So we thank you guys for joining us.
Yay!
Regina, you got anything else to add? Because I know that
man. Give a shout out to my friend Breezy. Also,
my wife.
Yes, that's his wife. Beautiful. Yes, and also, Ray, I sent you my favorite. Serious Litigation is actually my favorite from back then, and I sent that to you, Ray. So if we have time during closing or what have you to play that one, that would be fabulous. If we don't, then next time then we'd see you guys. Hopefully.
Okay. Yeah.
That is beautiful.
Yeah.
They have so many good songs.
Are you all in Texas? Did I see you in Texas?
Yeah, I'm in Dallas.
Okay. I'm in Maryland.
In where? Maryland. Okay, Q. Cool.
Yeah, I'm gonna get him out to see you guys.
Yes, please come out this summer. We'd love to have you.
I sure will.
put you guys on the list, and just be our guest.
Oh, I feel
Smiling and
important
grooving.
too. That's what I'm talking
Of course, man. Come on, that's part of the cachet that we've earned over 30 years.
I hear that.
Saved you $10.
Hey,
Nice.
every little bit helps. I'm telling you.
Every little bit helps.
All the
Absolutely.
Irish whiskey you want, it'll be backstage.
Oh,
Yeah.
all right.
All right, fellas. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank
We look forward to
you.
catching you
Yay.
Thanks
soon.
for-
All right.
Thanks, Regina,
All
for
right.
bringing us on
All
and
right.
introducing us to you guys.
All right. Take care.
Thank you, guys.
Take care.
Thanks for coming on.
Yay. Yay.
All right.
So fabulous.
Yeah, it was good
Right.
stuff. Really good stuff.
Yes.
You know,
Thank
normally,
you, Regina. Appreciate that because
Ah.
some true flavor. True flavor.
absolutely.
Yes.
Normally, I would shoot the breeze with you guys, but I got chicken to eat.
Oh my
feel you.
God.
I feel you, man.
Look,
Because
Hey.
I'm like hungry
Jeez.
right now myself. So
Yeah.
I feel you. I
God.
feel you.
yeah.
You
But,
shouldn't be eating after 9 o'clock.
The sun went down at 7:45.
Oh, I
He
forgot.
has
Never
no-
mind.
he
I
has no
forgot that
choice.
quickly. He has
And
an
then-
excuse.
And then our beloved boss has an 8:30 check-in that interrupted my dinner. By the way,
How
You know
dare
what?
you?
You are exempted from the check-in for the next 4 weeks.
I'll take it. You heard it, Regina.
I
That's
did.
correct.
I did. And you
That's
will.
correct.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You know he's only saying that because he's seen my new mic stand hookup, so he knows I'm okay.
I want that hookup.
There's a
Yeah.
message to him.
Yeah. That's a nice setup, man. Nice
I'll
setup.
take-
Yes.
I will take that.
Yeah.
Well, you guys have a great weekend.
Absolutely.
You too. You
All
too,
right.
guys.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us. We appreciate you guys. Next week, we have, I believe, Rebecca Ling from Amsterdam. So we're gonna have an international flavor next week. So we're looking forward to that. Looking forward to that. All right, folks. Thank you, and we'll see you very soon.
See you
Have
guys.
a fabulous night.
Good night.
All right.
Bye.